I reviewed A.R. Ahmad and H.R. Murad's study on the impact of social media on panic during the COVID-19 pandemic, specifically in Iraqi Kurdistan. In order to analyze the effects of social media in regards to mental health and COVID-19 within the people of Iraq, the researchers conducted a self-report study where 516 social media users were used as the sample. They used SPSS software to examine the results, where they found that social media can act as a catalyst for fear and panic. Within these findings, researchers noticed that social media has the ability to deteriorate mental health due to the spread of information about pandemics and illness. They discovered that during the coronavirus quarantine, social media was used as means to discover more about the disease, which created an influx in anxiety and other mental health issues. Looking at the objectives, one can see that one of the main goals was to determine how social media affects self-reported mental health, along with the spread of panic in regards to COVID-19, specifically in the Kurdistan region of Iraq. Along with this, the researchers hope to examine social media's impact on people's mental health and the health crisis facing countries worldwide. The case study also had the goal of analyzing the effects of social media during the pandemic, as it still is a current and lasting issue. Social media is a constant through many crises, and a more comprehensive understanding may be useful as societies continue forwards out of the pandemic. Looking at the method section, this study was conducted by using a quantitative survey, which had the goal of collecting data from Kurdish social media users. The survey was written in Kurdish, and as I mentioned previously, 516 people were used in the sample. The researchers used a descriptive content analysis in order to comprehend the data collected, and SPSS version 25 was used to test the results. The questionnaire was online and at random, with the goal of finding the influence of social media on both COVID-19 as well as mental health. Cronbach alpha was utilized to find the reliability of the study, which was 0.825, and the validity, which was 0.753. This really highlighted the high reliability rate. For reference, reliability is the consistency of measures in a study, and validity is the accuracy. Moving on to the data and results section, I will now elaborate on the findings of this study. The results found that Facebook was the most used social media source, with its ratings being at around 83%. From those social media users sampled, the highest proportion of participants, at 76.4%, reported that they had seen, heard, or read health-related news on social media. Along with this, among those who had published news relating to COVID-19, about 39% of them reported being psychologically affected by this. The researchers found that 75% of the variance of spreading panic about COVID was explained by factors in social media. Looking at Table 1, the bar graph focuses on the results of 3 questions from the survey. The first question was if participants think that publishing more news related to COVID on social media has spread fear and panic among the people. The responses were very heavily yes. 399 people reported yes for this. 47 people reported no, and 70 people reported being neutral to this. The second question that I looked at from the questionnaire was if participants had ever published any information in news related to COVID-19 on social media. Again, the majority reported that they had. Looking at this closer, 280 people reported yes, 186 people reported no, and 50 people were neutral about this. The last question was if participants think that filters need to be set up for social media and specific policies should follow humanitarian crises, such as the spread of COVID-19. The participants almost all reported that they were in favor of this. 433 of those sampled said yes, 49 said no, and 34 were neutral about this. These questions are a good reflection of the questions asked in the questionnaire, showing that many of those surveyed agreed to some extent that social media has affected their mental health during the coronavirus. Looking at the discussion, upon analysis of these results, researchers found a significant positive correlation between social media and the spread of COVID. Furthermore, they discovered that 76% of panic-inducing factors in relation to COVID are associated with social media. Because the effects of panic and fear created during COVID-19 may be long-lasting, it is important that more care and protection should be put into health-related information on social media. This is all the more impactful because social media reaches many different age ranges as well as many different demographics. Moving on to the conclusion section. It is important that there is moderation in health-related information that is put on the internet. Reliable and unreliable information both play a role in consumer view on current news. This highlights the need for restraining fake news. Media is a constant source of information that spreads in a quick manner, and the impact of false information published on social media is strong for many different demographics. While the idea of stricter rules for publishing information on social media is controversial, those surveyed were mostly in support of it, especially after its effects on people's mental health. Again, I looked at Ahmad and Murad's study on the impact of social media on panic during the COVID-19 pandemic in Iraqi Kurdistan, which was an online study found from the Journal of Medical Internet Research. Thank you.